Okay, hello, welcome back to the Box Lacrosse Rundown. Doing video version today as well as a written version. As a reminder, Box Lacrosse Rundown comes out every Monday and Friday at noon Eastern. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to subscribe to the newsletter. It's the best way to keep track of news and also everything going across the lacrosse culture daily landscape. So make sure to check that out. There should be sign-up pages if you go to lacrosseculturedaily.com and then, on several of our articles throughout the site. So jumping back into video today. And yeah, lots of good box lacrosse going on around the country. So going to start actually in the WLA. The Victoria Shamrocks finish off an 18-0 regular season. I don't discuss senior a whole lot because, it's a little bit awkward with my peers, but an incredible season in the WLA. The first time, I believe, in the WLA that anyone's ever had a perfect season, which also means it's the first time that someone in the WLA and the MSL have had a perfect season in the same year. So Six Nations in Victoria have still not lost. Six Nations is now playing in the semifinals against Coburg. Still have not lost a game there. So they're looking to go up 2-0. And it's just, or 3-0, excuse me, and it's just been a crazy run for both teams. If you're wondering, Victoria in 18 games, plus 71 goal differential, 197 for 126 against, so it's plus 71 for the Shamrocks. For Six Nations in just 13 games, plus 88, 158 goals for, just 70 goals against. So that kind of tells you the dominance of those two teams in Senior A across the country this year. The other WLA news is we know the playoffs now. So Victoria, obviously with the 1 seed, Maple Ridge finishes the regular season very strong to get the 2 seed. They'll play the Langley Thunder in the first round, and then the New Westminster Salmon Bellies get the 4th seed. So that's what the playoffs are going to look like out west. Did want to mention as well, my teammate, good friend, Will Malcolm, finishes with 112 points in the WLA this year, 37 more points than the next closest player, 52 goals is 9 more than the next closest guy, and his 60 assists, 14 more than the next closest guy. So a pretty crazy season out there for Will. And, make sure to follow along here as the rest of the playoffs go in the WLA. And then staying in BC, the Coquitlam Adanacs are up 1-0 in the BCJ ALL finals over the Port Coquitlam Saints. Both those teams are heading to the Minto Cup, which will be in Coquitlam later in August. So just BCJ ALL bragging rights on the line. Interesting game in game 1. So Port Coquitlam led in scoring by Austin Lamoureux with 6 points. Doc Stater had 2 goals and 2 assists, as did Silas Richmond. Really balanced scoring for Coquitlam. Cody Milosky has 2, Ty Banks, the defender, has 2, and then a couple other guys with 1. The story really has been the defense. Jack Kask allows just 7 goals against, 39 shots, according to the official game sheet, which is incredibly low for a series of this magnitude. And, looking through it for the season, 2 shutouts this year, 1 in the playoffs, 1 in the regular season. The Adanacs haven't given up 10 goals since July 7th. That was approaching a month ago. And by my count, they only gave up 10 or more goals twice all year. So, we expect to see scoring come down typically in the playoffs. So 9-7 has been roughly in line with what we've seen in Ontario. But to only give up 10 goals twice the whole season is pretty incredible. And I think it's a testament to defense, to coaching, obviously led by Pat Coyle, a guy who's coordinated a lot of great defense at a lot of great levels. And then Kask has really been solid. And coming off the shutout, hold a fairly explosive offense to 7 goals is obviously pretty impressive. So something to monitor there. I think, Orangeville is kind of doing the same thing. And, if you believe that defense wins championships, those two teams certainly seem to be, in the same kind of category defensively, and then Kask and O'Toole playing as well as anyone in the country right now. So game 2 for that one goes tonight, this Friday night, and obviously should be a pretty good series. First chance for Port Coquitlam to defend their home floor. That's going to be really important. You just can't afford really to go down 2-0 in these early series. It becomes really, really hard. You need momentum. You need to protect your home floor. And then if you're the Saints, try to get one at the Palace. But, obviously a tall task there. Coquitlam looks pretty good this year. And then jumping to Ontario, won't spend too much time on it today because I've been covering it all week. on the website. We'll have links to those articles below. But Orangeville up 1-0. Game 2 also goes tonight at the Drummond Street Bowl. Should be a great crowd there. I've had lots of thoughts, reactions to the games all summer long, and this week, a good effort for Orangeville. They get a hat trick from Bowie Horseman that I think was kind of the difference. A 3-goal game to get those 3 shots from Horseman really made a big difference, and pretty good effort from Mimico overall. As the 9 goals was the most Orangeville was given up in the playoffs, so finally, someone was able to get after Connor O'Toole just a little bit. But this is why Orangeville is hard to beat, because even if you get to 9 goals, they're going to get to 12, and if you want to run with them, they can run, and if you want to slow it down, they're pretty dominant in the 5-on-5 typically. So expecting a really good one from Mimico. Mimico, maybe too hard to have this be a must-win, but you're getting pretty close, right? If it's you go down 2-0, going back to Tony Rose with the potential for 3-0, then your life is really, really difficult. So you have to defend home floor like we've been talking about, and it should be a very good home crowd, I would expect. For the closeout game against Peterborough, I think Mimico really used the crowd to their advantage and got on a real big roll there in the second period. They put together a bit of a run against Orangeville in the third period of game 1, which was the first time we've really seen extended runs go against this Orangeville team, and they're going to need some more of that tonight. So the other interesting thing to watch is who starts in net. For Mimico, Nate Whittam got pulled in game 1. Adam Power was, I think, pretty solid. So maybe a decision coming down the line there. I would expect it's Whittam, but you obviously never know. No decision for Orangeville. O'Toole's going to keep rolling here. He's been one of the best players in the playoffs here. So, game 2 goes tonight. And the MSL playoffs, Peterborough up 2-0 and Six Nations up 2-0. So Brooklyn's got some work to do, and Coburg as well. But looking as of now, perhaps to a Six Nations Peterborough final, which if you followed the MSL over the years should be no surprise. But Brooklyn will have lots to say about that, so make sure to keep following along with that news as well. And then in the RMLL, just one game this weekend. That'll be tonight. Friday, August 2nd, the Raiders, hosting the Miners. Again, the Raiders are up 2-0, so really looking to, put their mark on this series and push the Miners to the brink. Obviously, a Miners team that's played in some Minto Cups recently and has some pretty good pedigree. Some of those guys have played in a lot of big games. So the Raiders looking to, obviously don't want to let them stick around. Cash Fridays, Dylan Belleville leading the scoring in the playoffs for the Raiders, and they've been pretty solid there. But again, no updates since our last newsletter, as there's very infrequently midweek games in the RMLL. We will have links to the highlights from games 1 and 2 in the newsletter, again, for folks looking to check in on that series. And then staying in Ontario, Junior B finals begin tonight. Elora taking on Ganawage, so that should be a pretty good series. The Hunters pulling off the big win over Orangeville. I think that was an upset, and certainly closing out the series at Alder, but just in general in Orangeville, obviously a tough place to win, so very good victory for them. And there's been some good streaming of that series and of the Hunters games all season long, so we'll make sure that's linked in the newsletter as well. But that series kicks off on Friday, and then Saturday, August 3rd, begins the Ontario Senior B Finals. That's between the Six Nations Rivermen and the Brooklyn Merchants, with obviously some implications for the President's Cup there. So should be a fun weekend of lacrosse, whether you're into Junior A, Junior B, Senior A. There's lacrosse going on all over the country at a really high level. So make sure to check that out. Don't forget to like and comment on this video and subscribe to the Box Lacrosse Roundup newsletter every Monday, every Friday, noon Eastern, and maybe some more frequent ones than that as we get towards championship season here in August. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.